Hello again, and thank you for watching step 6 out of 7 for tracking production out in the field using Edge on Site. Today we will be covering how to generate reports. So, up to this point, we've already covered how to load our project, load up our necessary pages, track production, take any photos and add any notes, and then how to upload that production and those photos and notes. So now having all that done, we're at the point in our day where we're ready to generate a report and send it out to our team. So let's go ahead and get started by doing so. Let's use the bottom toolbar to navigate from pages to reports. And once we do so, this is the screen that we will see. So let's start from the top and work our way down and analyze what's going on this screen. So first we see two fields, start date and end date. So today's date is August 4th, but I've taken the liberty of entering in yesterday inside these two fields. And these two fields do exactly what you would think, and they act as a filter. And they affect the reports only in this top row here. And you know that because they are under the row title that says date range, meaning whatever date range you input in these two fields will be respected by all the reports shown in this row here. In the row below, you see totals, which will ignore the filters you put in those two fields, and will always show the totals for the project up to this point in time. And below that, in the other category, we have the daily report, which will always show information from that day and time. Same with the progress report. Those are also very unique. So, like I said, I've taken the liberty of tuning this one day in the past, because today is August 4th. So if we go ahead and let's work our way from left to right and let's generate this code report. And you generate the report by just taking your finger and tapping into the photo preview for the report. And here we go. So this is one of the reports we'll see. And we can see that it respected the filter because it shows right here in our date range. And this report is very similar to what you'll see if you were to log into the administration portal and view the labor screen. It shows information at code level. It shows information from your estimate, compares it with what you've actually done, and then forecasts how you're going to look hours-wise based on those two columns of information. So this is where you can come to make informed decisions and look at your data. You can see how many hours left you have of a certain code if you keep working at the rate you're at, how you will finish, and also if you're behind, we give you a target rate that you can work at to get back to par. Okay, so that's the code report. If we wanted to print this out, we could use this print icon in the top right, and that would generate a screen shown here where you would just select your printer and go ahead and print that out. So let's hit this X and go look at some of the other reports. Next, we have the item report in the top row. This is very similar to the code report, except it'll show things a little more micro, and it actually breaks it down to the labor items themselves that lie within the codes. And so you might have a few more line items here. But besides that, all of the data is going to be the same. Okay, and then again, we can use that print icon if we like. So let's keep moving. We'll X out here, and let's look at a quantity report. And so here we are seeing a similar screen. We have estimated, actual, and forecast, still respecting the date range, except we're only looking at things from a quantity perspective. So before we looked at it from an hours, and now we're looking at it in terms of quantity, but the same type of idea. And again, if we do quantity item, we're doing quantity again, but we're looking at it from an item level rather than a code level. And so totals, the reports will all be the same, except like we distinguished earlier, instead of respecting this date range here, they will actually show the totals for this project up to this point in time. So if we hit this item report here, if we were to take all this data and take a screenshot and compare it to what we see on the labor screen in our administration portal, much of this data would be the same. So it's pulling the totals of the forecast, the actual, from the life cycle of the project up to this day and time, up to August 4th. And so let's X out of here. So now we have an understanding of how these reports work, and let's take a look at our other reports. The most popular report that users are generating and sending out on a daily basis is our daily roll-up report. So if we go ahead and tap that, we'll see what it looks like. This report will always generate a report for the day and time in which you're using the application. However, we do store the daily reports in our system automatically every night. So you can always use the administration portal to go back and generate a daily roll-up report for a day in the past. But let's take a look at what we see here. First, we see what project we're working in and what the date is. And then we see a report of what we've marked in terms of labor items. So today we just marked some quantity. We didn't mark any hours, so that's what we're seeing here. If we had inputted any hours from the administration portal, they would appear here. And then we see a little more consolidated. We're viewing it by code. We see any notes that we've added today. And we've seen all photos as well. So it's a pretty comprehensive report. And we can actually use this icon in the top right, which allows us to make it a part of an email, send it through Microsoft Teams or any other application you're using internally, or you can save it to your iPad's files, or again, you can print that out. So this is our most popular report and one you'll probably be generating on a daily basis. And now you know where to find it, what it looks like, and how to send it out. So lastly, let's hit done and take a look at our progress report and what that looks like. And here, this is going to compare hours and give us a percentage progress report based on the hours. So again, this report is one of those that will really only make sense if you have hours inside the application. And again, it's important to know that none of these reports in the date range or totals row will appear if you do not have any hours inside the application. As you can imagine, a lot of the data that we're showing there requires hours to make a lot of the calculations. And so the main report that you'll be producing if you only track quantities that day is the daily rollup report, because it'll show all your quantities, your completion, any photos and notes as well. So that about covers it for reports in the portal today. There, like I said, is a multitude of reports you can also generate from the administration portal, including ones that pertain to cost, but in the iPad, no such luck. Please see the separate video for how to generate reports in the portal and what they look like, and feel free to reach out with any questions. Thank you very much, and stay tuned for the next video in the series, which will be our last and final step out of the 7 total. Thank you very much.